Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. You are here with Miguel and this is the fourth deck profile for the series. Today I'm answering the question, how do you combine DC deck building sets? When building a main deck, I'm focusing on three key ideas: theme, availability, and consistency. For the theme, we're going full Batman, along with his supporting cast, the Justice League, Batman Incorporated, and the Birds of Prey. For availability, we're pulling from the original set, Heroes Unite, Crisis Expansion number 1, Forever Evil, and Rivals 1, Batman vs. the Joker. Since Rivals introduces a two-player mode with unique keywords, we'll only use cards that work in standard multiplayer format. For consistency, we'll include duplicate card names where appropriate. Rivals 1 has many single copies, so this helps smooth out gameplay. And now let's get into the deck profile. Heroes, we have 32. At cost 2, we have 3 Catwoman and Katana. Catwoman is here as an early buy and works well with the Dark Knight at cost 5. Katana serves as a low-cost defense option to help stabilize players early. If you prefer, you can swap Katana for Commissioner Gordon from Forever Evil to gain VP tokens instead of drawing a card when defending. We also include 1 copy of Vicky Vale and Alfred Pennyworth. Vicky Vale is a simple, reliable draw, similar to Kid Flash, but Batman themed. Alfred lets you stack your deck by placing a card from your discard pile on top, perfect for setting up big turns. At cost 3, we have 2 copies of each: High Tech Hero, Daughter of Gotham City, and Plastic Man. High Tech Hero supports equipment and superpower builds. Daughter of Gotham City helps you recover punch cards early, useful for maintaining power generation. Plastic Man copies equipment effects, which is huge in an equipment heavy build. We also include 1 Batwoman from Rivals 1, who gives +1 power and draws a card, similar to Raven from Heroes Unite. At cost 4, we have 2 copies of Zatanna Zatara and Sonic Siren. Zatanna recycles cards to the bottom of your deck, especially strong with heavy draw builds. Sonic Siren refreshes the lineup, helping cycle out undesirable cards. We also have single copies of Huntress and Oracle. Huntress provides +2 power and destroys a card, excellent for deck thinning. Oracle lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, draw 1, and stack the other, giving you control over future turns. At cost 5, we have 2 copies of Green Arrow, which can help the end game for VP generation. We also include single copies of the Dark Knight, Emerald Knight, the Fastest Man Alive, Nightwing from Rivals 1, and Robin from Rivals 1. Dark Knight combos with Catwoman for explosive equipment turns. Emerald Knight lets you play cards directly from the lineup. Fastest Man Alive is your reliable draw 2. Nightwing can chain draw equipment cards if your deck is built correctly. Robin generates power from revealed equipment or draws it if it's another card type. At cost 6, we have 1 copy of Blue Beetle and Red Robin. Blue Beetle is our staple defense card, and Red Robin generates +4 power at the cost of 6. At cost 7, we have 1 copy of Princess Diana of the Mascara, great for grabbing multiple villains at once. At cost 8, we have Man of Steel, powerful in super power heavy builds. For villains, we have 32 as well. We have 2 copies of Harley Quinn, Two-Face, and Deadshot. Harley Quinn and Deadshot are early disruption tools, while Two-Face can help you draw a card if you call even or odd correctly. From Rivals 1, we have 1 Penguin, Victor Zsasz, and the Riddler. These provide early destruction and power, while the Rivals 1 Riddler can gain the top card of the main deck at the cost of other players choosing for you. At 3 costs, we have 2 copies of Poison Ivy, the Penguin, the Riddler, and Mr. Zsasz. Poison Ivy and Mr. Zsasz each attack foes and can give out weaknesses. The Penguin is here to draw 2 and discard 2. The original Riddler can snowball late game by repeatedly paying 3 power to gain the top card of the main deck multiple times. From Rivals 1, we have a single copy of Clayface and Two-Face. These versions offer alternative copy effects and attacks without fully replacing original versions. At 4 costs, we have 2 copies of Clayface, Bane, and Killer Croc. Clayface copies played cards, Bane pressures hands, and Killer Croc rewards villain synergy. From Rivals 1, we have Bane as a disruption and Mr. Freeze for equipment hate. At 5 costs, we have 2 copies of Scarecrow, stacking weakness attacks fitting the deck's disruption theme. We also have at 6 costs 2 copies of Solomon Grundy, reliable delayed +3 power. And from Rivals 1, we have Hugo Strange, simple but effective draw 2. For equipment, we have 32 cards. At cost 2, we have 4 copies of Batarang and 3 copies of Batmobile. These are strong early power and mulligan tools. At 3 costs, we have 2 Bowstaff and Batmobile from Rivals 1. Bowstaff can generate power according to villains in the lineup, and Batmobile is another mulligan alternative. At cost 4, we have 3 Cape and Cow, Soul Taker Sword, and Mallet. Plus, we have 2 Batarangs from the Rivals 1. These are here as heavy defense and light destruction. We also have, at cost 5, 2 Utility Belt and Bat Signal. Utility Belt generates VP, and Bat Signal recycles heroes for combo turns. At cost 6, we have 2 Broadsword, and from Rivals 1, Laughing Gas. Both reinforce the attack plus weakness theme. At cost 7, we have 1 Firestorm Matrix, perfect for a strong repeat effect tool. And at cost 8, we have 1 Power Armor as a defense card that can thin out your hand or your discard pile multiple times. For superpowers, we have 16 cards. We're limiting superpowers to keep the deck equipment focused. At cost 2, we have 2 Insanity from Forever Evil and 2 from Rivals 1. The Insanity from Forever Evil can pass cards to other players, and Insanity is +1 power. Both work as a low-cost defense card. At cost 3, we have 2 copies of Expert Marksman and Maniac. From Rivals 1. Expert Marksman and Maniac work here as more destroy cards to help further your game state. At cost 4, we have 2 copies of Bulletproof and Canary's Cry. Bulletproof can help you draw and destroy a card in your discard pile when you defend. Canary Cry works as a defense card, especially in villain decks, to help either put a villain on top of your deck or in hand when defending. At cost 6, we have 1 copy of Heat Vision and 2 copies of World's Greatest Detective from Rivals 1. Heat Vision is a good card that can help players destroy a card in their hand or discard pile. World's Greatest Detective is here as our final reveal to defend card because in certain games, foes will be able to stack multiple attacks in one turn. At cost 7, we have 1 Super Strength. And it's here because it's a good card that can help generate +5 power instantly. For our locations, we have 6 related to Gotham City. At 4 costs, we have 1 copy of Blackgate Prison as a way to turn your weaknesses and vulnerabilities into VP tokens. At cost 5, we have a single copy of the Batcave, Arkham Asylum, and Gotham City. The Batcave and Arkham Asylum can help you draw cards during your turn when you play a villain or equipment, respectively. Gotham City can reveal a card from the top of your deck in order to draw it if it's an equipment, or discard it if not, to help thin out your deck. At cost 6, we have 1 copy of Arkham Asylum and Wayne Manor from Rivals 1. These cards will put a hero or villain from your discard pile to the bottom of your deck as a way to draw into them later on in the game. For the supervillain stack, we are including from the base game and Heroes Unite 1 copy of Ra's al Ghul, Vandal Savage, Deathstroke, Mr. Freeze, the Joker, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, and the Anti-Monitor. From Crisis 1, we will be including impossible versions of Ra's al Ghul, Deathstroke, the Joker, Lex Luthor, and Darkseid. For oversized characters, we are using Batman-related characters. We have Batman, Nightwing, Black Canary, Batgirl, Robin, Green Arrow, Zatanna Zatara. From villains, we have Harley Quinn, Deathstroke, and Bane. In closing, that's one way to combine DC deck building sets, this time with a Batman theme. Remember, there is no single correct way to build your main deck. These videos are here to inspire and start conversations. What would you change? Would you replace older cards with Rivals 1 versions? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share all the YouTube things. I'll see you on the next one.